Welcome back. This is Matt from Karnak Holistics, and it's good to see you back again. I try to do these videos at least a couple times a week in order to stay in touch, to bring up positive and focused content in order for you, to help you really to understand what you are about and what I'm about, because until we can understand what we are about, then there's no way of moving forward if we just stuck in this current situation. So today I want to speak about becoming a better you. Now, to become a better you, what does that look like? Well, what it looks like is that you accepting, there's three levels to this. The first level is acceptance. The second level is realization and manifestation. And the third level is going for it. Now, acceptance I'd like to speak about is looking at how life really is. You know, if life is shit, life is shit. It is what it is. And it's then from where you as the individual start to manifest and start to accept within yourself that life is this way. That means also that you just go, okay, well, this is it. This is how I am at the moment. It doesn't mean that you're going to remain here. It doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck or stay in the same position until you shift that way of thinking. Now, the only way you can change that is if you start accepting that you are in this current reality. Because this current reality doesn't mean that you're going to remain within this current reality. And I've seen so many times that where people have just they say they've accepted it, but they haven't really, because they stay here. When you accept something, and then you need to then learn about, okay, well, I'm taking it to the next one, and about manifesting, focus on manifesting, and focus upon really pulling in those important aspects of you. Now, when you accept it, and then I'll go, you know what, I'm black. You know, I'm black. I'm a man. I live in this house. I have these friends. This is who I am. And if I want more, or if I want things to change, then I need to then start to manifest. So I've accepted. That's me saying, right, I'm on ground zero, ground floor. I'm at the bottom of the stairs. The next step will be, okay, well, I want to start manifesting. Now, you don't know what that's going to look like. Sometimes how I do it is I always turn around and trust in God and say, like, God, please bring in what you feel is good for me, what's going to empower me, and obviously glorify you. Because glorify him will then glorify me, or glorify me will glorify him. And then there's a richer element of understanding to what I am about. Because if I say, okay, I'm only thinking from my perception, if I say on my earthly manner, if I say, okay, I want to live in Chelsea, I want to drive this car, and I want this lifestyle, and blah, 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 then that's my own limited perception, if that makes sense. So you only seeing it at face value, because we all know that just because we see somebody or see something, it's not necessarily always generally the truth about it. So, for example, you see a really nice car. Do you know what it's like to drive? Do you know how much it costs to drive? Do you know how much it costs to maintain? Do you know where you're going to park it? Do you run a risk of all other things going wrong with it to repair it? There's all these other things that you need to accept before you get it. Yeah. So for example, I used to have a client who always used to get loans out. You know, the minute they pay off a loan, they get a new loan out. So I used to say, what's the importance of you getting a new loan, financial loan? And he said, well, if I get out a new loan, then I know I can afford more and better things. I said, but you're paying off for it. But if you think about it, you're paying off a little bit extra, or a lot more extra, depends on what you're taking out. And he said, yeah, but I'm getting the thing now. I'm saying, yeah, but in the long run, you're not getting any, you're getting less things in the future, if that makes, do you understand what I'm saying? So, okay, I want to buy I want to buy a suit, right? So I go, right, say this suit costs me £200 and I've only got £100. So I go, all right, let me go and get a loan out for another £100, right? So I've got my £200 now, but really getting my loan out is going to cost me £150, £160 because of the interest on top. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. So the other interest, which is on top, which is a face value, I just see the loan on the amount. I don't see the value. I don't see the other added value or the extra value, or the extra issues that come along with that loan. So doesn't matter. I've got my suit, but if I would have said, all right, it took me a month and a half or 2 months to save £100, why didn't it take me an extra month or two to save up the other £100, then go and buy the suit? I won't need to pay back the 60 quid. So to put it into relation to what I was saying about acceptance and then about manifestation, is that if you are looking to do something or achieve something, you can't just look at a face value. So when I was asking or looking to gain or to improve on something, get a new job, to get promotion or whatever, I was going for it on this realm, from this level. And when I get it still lacks certain things. Though I was still grateful because I got it. God would always give it to me, but I still lack certain things. So one day I went to myself, you know what? I'm just going to try. I heard of this saying, trust in God, and I remember hearing Joel Osteen talk about it. So I said, let me try that. Let me give it a whirl. So I just decided to go, you know what? God, this is what I would like to achieve. And it's not financial. I think it's more, I just wanted no longer to really stress out about certain things. And then a certain thing happened and I wasn't stressing, and I was like, hold on. Someone pointed out and said to me, you know what, you would normally do X, Y, and Z now. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then that light bulb went off in my head. The universe, take the universe up. God put it into my mind and said, remember you asked me for that. There you go, my son. And if I would have turned around and gone, it would have happened, and then I would have been, right, I can't do this, it's going to be that. All this anxiety would have built up within me. But out of nowhere, I just automatically reacted to it. Similar thing is when I went to buy my new car. My car was dying and it basically was just about to basically die. So I was like, okay, God, I need your help with it. I'm only talking about financial or solid things because it's probably easy for you to understand. So I said, I need a new car because I need it for work. I need to go and see the kids, the grandkids, and so on. And I said, in the natural, as in on earth, I would have to wait for payday. So I waited, and then I remember someone saying to me, you know what, there's this place that's doing this certain amount, this car, and I was about to buy a car through the natural because I see it myself, another car, and it would have cost me double the amount to pay for it. So I found this other car, and I had to wait. Probably I would have had to normally wait another month or 2 months, but I needed it now because I'll start my new job where I had to travel a lot, and plus I got my own business, so I'm moving around a lot. So I just waited and I trusted in God, and I go, no, God's going to give it to me. God's going to give it to me. Then an email came into me, and it just stood out for me. So anyway, I contacted him, and then I went down to see him, and I got a new car, cheaper but newer than a car I was going to originally go and buy, and it will cost me less to pay for it. And it has all the things I was looking for and more. And everyone keeps saying you're living in the magic of life, and I really am. Sometimes I don't believe my own truth. I get so used to it that I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't really get given these stuff. And then God reminds me, and then I'm humbled by that, and I then learn from that, and then I go back because he's ready to move into the next level. I started working with other people. So when I'm working with a client, for example, and there seems to be no way out for him, and in a natural, there is no way out for him. But I know if I put it in, if he's put in my heart and he's put in God's heart, God will make a way, and then He does, and then things just shift. So it's been impacting the business, and the business, for example, has grown over the space of 3 months by 65%, as in new clients for me to work with. And also my reputation, or I say my brand, is getting out there more, and new ideas about bringing Carnex to the next level has increased. My relationship has improved, and that's what I'm saying. When you invest in God, you invest in He invests in you bigger than if you were to invest in just yourself doing it. That's manifestation. Acceptance that my car was knackered, and manifesting a new car, and then trusting in God. So I had to explain the whole direction and the whole way it's going in order to really give evidence in some ways that this is how it's kind of done and what is to be achieved from that. So the final one is reality. It's there, it's arrived, and it's future. When it comes to you, have gratitude. Live just almost like, instead of eating or drinking or eating or drinking that drink, taste it. Just taste it. Just swirl it around in your mouth a bit, or when you chew it a bit more, and just take it, taste in the flavors, and then obviously swallow. But that's the same with life. You need to, when you receive something, just taste it. Just feel it at that moment. Feel what it's like, what God's given you. Those nice new shoes you get, that nice suit you get, that new love that you've met, that experience of the new job, your kids achieving the grades where you thought they would never achieve, or your son or your daughter going into the decent school, or getting a job so they can move away from a bad area. That person who would never break the addiction, that now has broken the addiction because you had faith in that person, but you had faith in God. And that's where it comes from, that I believe that if we are living, we can achieve anything, no matter what the situation is. And I always use the reason about wealthy people, billionaires and millionaires. Every person never had their money at the beginning when they first started. Like the guy who owns Frames for You, when he started, he had nothing. He was just going around doing a normal day job, and then he invested in himself and invested in his belief, and then now he's a multi-millionaire, if not almost, well, probably a billionaire now. So that's from a financial point of view. I saw a friend of mine who several years ago broke up with his missus. We worked together, and I said, in a natural, he said she would never come back. Too much has got water has been under the bridge, blah, blah, blah. In a natural, yes. But in a supernatural, which is the true natural, God will bring her back to you because that's what you want. You just need to be patient and trust and believe in Him. So long story short, it took probably about 3 to 6 months to start dating again. 15 years later, they got 3 children. 3 children from a state of where, it would never ever happen, to having the belief in it. Now, at that time, he wasn't in a good place, and he needed a beacon of light. And the beacon of light was there for him, and he found his way. Another lady was getting bullied within a job, racially abused, emotionally abused. she wasn't in a good place. And I said, you know what? You need to take action and believe that you are better than they are, or better than you think you are. So she did. And she now is head of services in not in the same place, but in the same industry. But here's the ironic thing about it all. Here's the ironic thing about it all, and how God always delivers and always shows. He shows up and shows out. She is responsible for the old business she was in. She's now responsible for the new business. She's the manager. She is responsible for that as their client. They pay her company to produce certain things. They pay her company because they have a good reputation. And this company is now begging her for control or to help them move forward. Isn't that amazing? That is just, powerful. So I just wanted to just say, you know what? Accept. Make the first step, and make that first step acceptance, and let things roll on from there. So I'd like to finish on that note, and please leave any comments below, and like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. You look after yourself, stay safe. And remember, as we grow, we learn together, and we will grow together. Much love.